to hello, welcome to my podcast. How are you today, Elaine?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I hope you enjoy your dinner.
I did. I'm not gonna lie, it was KFC.
I love KFC as well. Listen,
A little
KFC when
quick
I'm
munch.
lazy, go for it, man. I like it. I try to make it myself. Let's not say. Let's just say I keep to the KFC. So, Elaine, I wanted to know first of all, do you consider yourself a content creator, or would you consider yourself like somebody that social justice? I mean, how would you describe what you do?
I would consider myself a black advocate for the black
Mm,
community. And I would also consider myself as a content creator as well, because I don't just lean into the black activism. You know,
mm.
put my personality out there, tell two jokes, you know what I mean? Like I have a laugh. So yeah, and I do it in my own way.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we're gonna tackle a few things because last time we had a very lovely conversation. So sorry about the technical difficulties, but I want to go back to Kanye West because he's a black guy. Let's
Yeah.
just say, as an artist, I love Kanye, but as a person, I'm quite concerned about the message out there. Can you explain what do you think is wrong with Kanye West, or do you think it's just normal behavior? Like,
I feel like what we have to consider is yes, he has a mental illness, and we need to know when he's having his episodes. We're not the
okay,
experts, so we don't know. But from what I see, is he does very extreme erratic stuff. So that's like a telltale sign that he's having an episode, if it were. But we also know that he is very out there. He pushes the bow, and he challenges people on conversations, and that's what we love him for. But with the whole like Jewish thing and whatever it is, I looked deeper into why he went full nuclear war on them, and it was more to do with like the comparison of, well, if you can control my community, if you can attack my community, if you can profit off my community, then why can't I do the same to you guys? And I feel like it's the exact correlation with, I don't know if you remember Wiley, when Wiley was saying like, the Jewish community have a big hand in like rap and the British black kind of music, and also over in America it's the same thing as well, but it's very hush hush and not spoken about. And I feel like the
mm,
two men were trying to articulate themselves like that, but they just did a very poor job. And now what we're starting to see now is that certain community getting favors over other communities, and nobody is saying anything. We're seeing it right in front of our eyes. So I feel like I do sympathize with where Kanye is coming from. I feel like he could have just articulated himself in a better way, the same as
mm.
Wiley. But now they're feeling the backlash because this particular community does have power, and they do garner power, and they have the power to shut you down and shut you out and blacklist you and all of those sorts of things. So I kind of feel like, in a way, I do feel for them, coming from the black community. It's just a shame that we don't have enough protections in our realm to kind of really, hold them.
That's true. I'm gonna sound a little bit controversial, but I
Mhm.
do have a feeling because last time you posted something about why Asians, I think you said something about what the Asians have control over black people shops, like, and
Yeah.
I agree. When I came to live in the UK, I was shocked to see all these black products, but the Asians are the one who own the shops. Why do you think that is?
So I actually did like a deep dive into the immigration when it came to the black migrants, and the Asian migrants. And what I found was, where post World War II, we were invited over here. We weren't brought, we weren't, what I'm saying, forced to. We were invited over here to say, you know what, you can come over here from the Caribbean islands, because we were one of the British colonies. And they said, come over here, work for us, work in transport, work in the hospital to build up the NHS, and work in, as laborers, right? So that is what we were invited over here to do. A couple of years after that, there was a big wave of Asian migrants, sorry, that came from Uganda, and also I can't remember the other country, but basically when Idi Amin threatened the Asian,
Mm,
because basically he saw what we were seeing now in our country, which is that the white people have set it up to where the Asians are the buffer class, which is between black people and white people. They sit right in the middle, and basically they are middle management. So in society, they can manage the shops and, certain businesses and food and restaurants and all of those sorts of things. They give them, kind of ownership over that, but they will never let them hire in society. Case in point, like, government
yeah,
or actually like important influences. Although, credit to the Asians, they are trying, but we all recognize that that's where their status is. And so I feel like I wanted to point that out, because after the racism that I received from the Asians, when I questioned them about why you don't support black people or black businesses, why you feel like you couldn't bring us in if you say that we're about unity. Why can you bring us in when it came to business? If you've seen black people struggle, and everyone has seen that, we just need, what I'm saying, like some sort of looking, and they didn't do that. They were just for themselves.
mm,
Some people would disagree with me and be like, you know what, Elaine, it's black people's fault. We should have did this, we should have done that. But I'm saying, for the racism, we took the brunt of racism in the UK, right, from white people. And I feel like we shielded the Asians from that. And the Asians have never really given us credit, or never really acknowledged that that actually took place, right? I understand that they also face racism, but it's literally not the same. Their kids were
mm,
not pulled over, stopped and searched. Their kids are not, being killed in jail cells. Their kids are not being kicked out of school and all of those sorts of things. So we really need to look at the factors as to how we're both treated by white people in society. And I just don't feel like it's even kill when it comes to the Asians. But I do also feel like they lean into the white privilege a lot more, and they suck up to white people a lot more, because that's how they've been able to morph in and out of the white culture, and also kind of stick to the black culture and use our culture, profit off of it, open restaurants, um,
mm.
do our music, everything like that. Because we, to be honest, we haven't been the gatekeepers, because we feel like, oh, we need to treat everyone fairly, when everybody else in society hasn't treated black people that way.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But at the same time, I see a pattern. I feel like the Jewish people, they help each other. The
Yes.
Asian people, they help each other.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say doesn't sound right, but why do black people we don't do the same? Why can't we do exactly what they're doing? Because they're successful. If you look at Asians, whenever somebody come over into the UK, they help them. But black people between us, we're not like this. Why is that? Do you
I
think?
feel like we have been beaten down, we've been trodden on, we've been traumatized by white people, right? I'm not saying that the Asians haven't, but I'm saying that they were allowed to keep their culture. So what I
Yeah,
mean, when they came over here, they came over here with their spices, they came over here with their language, they came over here with their religions and all of those sorts of things. When we were displaced in, areas of the Caribbean or whatever it is, we were still under colonial rule, and we were not allowed to do our practices and all of those sorts of things. Otherwise, we would have been punished. So we have literally been stripped from our cultures, from our language, from everything. We literally had to start again. So, and also as well, when black people are migrating to the UK, we come from so many different black cultures that it's hard to share those values. This is why the black Americans can find unity so well, because they have been there for maybe, like, 200, however long,
yeah,
America has been established for, maybe 246 years or something like that, right? However long America was established for. And they feel they have one ethnicity, which is African American or black, however you want to call it, right? But over here, we've only been here for, like, give or take 50, 60, 70 years. And we have so many different black, what do you call it, communities in within our race, it's kind of hard to find our values and morals because they're just not the same. So it's
No,
hard for us to find unity when in their, factions or their culture, they're allowed to keep their languages and food and ways of life so they can, find unity better than we can.
that's true. You're right. Talking about the UK right now, and I'm sure you've been following, perhaps not, the UK elections. Are
Yeah.
you worried about, because it looks like the reform is gonna be the next one in power. Are you concerned about the black community if the reforms led by Nigel Farage are in power?
I feel like um I feel like people have been very delusional, okay? And what I mean by delusional is that you really feel like white people are progressive. You really feel like white people are going to be like, well, no, this, that. And what I came to realize is the fact that they've been saying this for years. Immigration has been a thing ever since we've migrated over here, right? It will never go away. But the shift that I started to see was that white people's voices were being shot down and not heard. And I love, what I'm saying? I love to cuss out a white person when I'm ready. But I do have to admit that whenever a white person brings up a point that is actually makes sense
Yeah,
and is not in favor of a migrant or whatever it is completely shut down. They're completely, like, literally wiped out. They're silenced and all of those sorts of things. So this is where you're seeing the attitudes towards why reform is more appealing to them. If Labour opened up a bit more, if the Conservatives opened up, which the Conservatives are, but at the same time it's just too harsh of a stance. And
yeah,
also, the Conservatives have run the country into the ground for 15 years, so no one really has confidence in them like that, right? But reform has leaned more into the insecurities of white people, uneducated white people, in fact,
yeah,
because really and truly, the reason why they're feeling that way is because white people have shut down their working class voices. Upper class white people have told them that they're wrong. Upper class white people have said, no, you cannot say that, right? Um, so that's where you kind of see the shift. So me, really truly, am I worried about reform? No, because at the same time, I feel like black people should be focused on our community and building. We shouldn't be focused on everybody else or helping everybody else. This is not a all lives matter type of thing. This is a, we need to get our community into a point where if something does happen and they do try to take us out, we have the finances, we have the leverage, and we have the strategy to protect ourselves as a community. That's what I'm more worried about rather than reform, to be
yeah.
honest.
You're totally right. Me, I'm a little bit concerned because the guy, Nigel Farage, he's got extreme views, and I feel like that's gonna divide the country, don't really make us be together. I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel like
Mm,
this is exactly what's gonna happen. Um, I have fortunately I have my British passport no long ago, but
yeah,
people still don't make me feel like British. Like
yeah.
because of my accent, they're like, yeah, but where you originally from? I'm like, now with these guys in power, I'm gonna feel like even more the division in the UK. That's exactly how I feel. What do you think?
I feel like there's beauty in indifference. I feel like
Mm,
we don't have to fit in everywhere. I feel like, I should be able to walk into a room and everybody know that I'm black. Well, clearly they know that I'm black, right? You can see it.
mhm,
But it's the beauty of, okay, somebody else is different. And I understand where you're coming from in the sense that, Reform have said some really aggressive and unsettling things to make you feel like, okay, maybe they could attack you. But I feel like what people need to understand is that Reform has said a load of things and taken back a load of things. And,
mm,
to run a government, yes, you can't make everyone happy, but you need to make the majority happy. And I just also feel like it will be very hard for them to pass certain laws because sitting in a government, there are still conservatives, MPs, Lib Dems, and all of these sorts of things who are, effectively against them. So even if they do, I feel like people need to understand. politics and how law is actually made in the UK. So if they were to present a bill, if an MP was to present a bill to make it into law, it would need to be debated on the House of Commons, and then it would need to go to a select committee who scrutinise it even more. And then if that passes, then it goes to the House of Lords who scrutinise it even more. And then it comes back to the MPs, and then it gets ratified, and then it gets put into law. So there's so many fail safes out here that I feel like they wouldn't get too far with their agenda, because people will be coming at them left, right, and center.
No, I totally agree with that. I like how open you are, how, you know, what you do, you have a massive platform that my daughter she's the one who made me discover you, to be honest with you, like on TikTok. So thank you. Shout out to my daughter. But
That,
honestly, you have this big platform, but you've been sharing that people have been attacking you. Like, why they being like all this attack? Is there anything you can do about it? Can you report them?
no, you know what? I feel like the internet, for me anyway, I feel like the internet is not a real place, because even when people see me, especially Black people who recognize me, they're like, oh, like, I love you. And they always show love. Um, I have seen a couple of Asians and whatever it is, but when they speak to me, they understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not necessarily personal. It's about me and my community and Black people. And once I explain my stance to them, they kind of come around and kind of get it. So yeah, I don't take the internet seriously, because if you do, then I wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. You know what? You have a beautiful platform. I like that every story current, you tackle it, especially with
Yeah.
the Black community, and I love that. You also, I think, you invite your followers in discussion. I've been to some of your lives. I enjoyed it. I feel like you're talking to me
Oh,
personally. I was like, this is so
okay.
cool. I mean, when did you start this amazing journey that you're on? How did you when did you start, and how did you start it?
So I started it just before COVID. And I was just like, everyone's hopping on this TikTok thing. Like, let me hop on it, give my opinion. Do you know what I mean? And then everyone kind of liked my personality, liked my hard
Mm.
stances, liked what I had to say. To be honest, everyone liked being cast. I started out. So that was kind of my thing, right? And then I kind of grew, and then I accidentally got into a diaspora war with the Black Americans, and then they got my first account shut down, which was at like
Oh,
20K, yeah. And then I built that up again within and then what was I? Yeah, I built that up again, and I was at like 135,000 up
yes, a
until
lot.
up until last year, and then the Asians got that shut down.
How can they
So
shut you down like this? How can people shut down your account?
so basically what it is if they report a video, and because I do a lot of cussing and shouting and whatever, TikTok feels like that's not like right, or it's violating the guidelines, whatever. And because they kept reporting every video that I did, the strikes were coming in more than I could appeal it. And if you have like up to 3 strikes, then your account is just wiped off. So that's what they did.
Oh, so you don't have a TikTok anymore for
I do
now.
have a TikTok. It's actually at
Oh,
14,000, but that was my backup one. But I've now made it my main one. So yeah, I
mm.
still,
It's
rough and
still
tumble
some.
on there.
Yeah, but still a large following, 14,000. A lot of people dream to have that. So Instagram, I mean, you have a large following on Instagram. I like that. I really,
Instagram is climbed. Instagram has done a lot for me actually. I feel like,
yeah.
yes, I had more followers on TikTok than Instagram, but ever since I started putting my opinions on Instagram, I've got more recognition, if that makes sense. I feel like Instagram's a more serious kind of social media platform where people actually take your words quite serious, whereas TikTok is just like, oh, okay, cool, she has an opinion, whatever, you scroll to the next one. But people are extremely engaging on Instagram, which I love. And it's become one of my favorite apps, to be honest.
Yeah, no, me, I love Instagram. So I wanted to know what do you think is gonna happen for you next? So are you gonna carry on this type of videos you're doing? Are you trying to use your platform to inspire people? Like, what is the next step for you?
So the next step for me is to actually do some events
Mm.
where I introduce influencers and, we kind of come together. I also want to do like a Black initiative for Black businesses where they
Mm.
can buy tickets and they can sit down and we can talk about their struggles in their business and how they can kind of turn it around in a reasonable time. So yeah, that's my goal. And also, trying to deprogram and my people.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I like that you have already a vision. Have you thought about writing a book as well? Is in the pipeline one day?
You know what? One day, but I just feel like I haven't achieved. I don't know about you, but I just feel like I haven't achieved enough like momentum to be like, oh yeah, I want to write a book. I want to do, what I'm saying, get my teeth into some things and then possibly write a book. So yeah, stay
Yes, honestly, I feel like one is coming. I feel like I've seen a lot of posts. That's what really attracted me to your account. I love what you do, like advocate, like you said. And we need
yeah.
more people like you. I think one of you is not enough. I feel
Thank
like it's not.
you.
If there was more of you, I'm telling you, there'll be more
It's
people helping each
unstoppable.
other.
It would.
Yeah,
Would.
yeah. Have you thought of public speaking?
I have thought about public speaking, um, but it's not in the pipeline for now because I feel like there's so much work to be done and I need to kind of solidify my brand and what I represent. And once I get that going, then I feel like public speaking will just follow straight after.
Yeah, so finally, I want to discuss something that happened to me recently at work.
Yeah.
I do feel like, unfortunately, people of color, Black people, are targeted a lot at work. Why do you think that is? And what can we do to change it?
I feel like most of us, when we work in corporate, we are not of their culture, like the corporate culture. So we don't lick arse, we don't smile up with them. We're not trying to go out for drinks on the Friday night. We're just in and out doing our work and we feel like to go home. And I feel like because we don't, get involved in all of that, somehow they take it as, oh, well, we don't like you then because of X, Y, and Z, because I'm not acting the way you want me to act, right? And that's why they make a beeline for you and start targeting you and all of those sorts of things, along with, you're 9 out of 10, you're the only Black person in the office or one of the two. And, it's very hard to fit in with the banter and their jokes because, some people are just dry.
Yeah.
They're
It is.
just
It is
dry.
true. It's so true. And what you said is true because at the end of the day, you go to work, you do what you have to do. I don't know, but I'm tired. I don't
Yeah.
need to socialize and we're going to talk about work. It's not like we're going to talk about things outside of work. The majority of the conversation is related to work. And when I finish work, I don't want to talk about work. I just want to go home. I've got kids. I want to spend time with my kids instead of sitting with colleagues that I'm not going to pretend. Some people, I don't want to be with you in my social time. So why do I need to pretend that we getting along and then, yeah. So the thing is, it's so hard to please these people. I've realized that if you're not a certain way, if somebody doesn't like you, you're done. Like, that's it. And you know
Yeah.
what? It's okay. I'm at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't want to change my personality for anyone. Do you feel the same way? Like people try to change your personalities and all, and then you need to tone down a little bit, and then you're a bit too much, and then you have a big mouth. I'm not saying to say that, but do you feel like that's how they
Oh
made you
yeah, no,
feel?
100%. I mean, this was back in like 2019 when I was last working in corporate. And there was this one time where my manager pulled me into the office and she was like, "Oh, we just feel like, your attitude has kind of changed around the office. You don't smile as much anymore." And I was literally sitting there with my mouth like open, like, huh? Like, are you actually kidding? You're pulling me in here away from my work where I could be productive for you to tell me that I don't smile enough. I said, I'm the one who actually runs jokes around here. So I'm not really too sure what you're talking about. I feel like also she was a white woman also. And I just feel like, yeah, she definitely targeted me. And then all of a sudden now I'm on uh performance plan and all of these sorts of things. And at the time I was pregnant and it was really stressing me out. Like it was just so bad. It was so bad. I was like, I'll
Mm.
never go back to corporate again. I just don't like to ask slick. I don't like to do the small talk. I don't like to make jokes. I don't care about what they did on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like I don't care.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. I mean, I'm sorry to ask you this personal question, but do you make a living of what you're doing at the moment? Because
Yeah,
I
I
think
do.
that you can. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
absolutely. I feel like I do, but I feel like I could knuckle down a bit more in terms of selling a personal product to really kind of,
Mm.
take me to the next level, which I feel like I want to do this year. So stay tuned. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, I do make okay money on here. But I still have a marketing job that I do enjoy. So yeah,
That's amazing because with your marketing job, you can use that for your own
exactly.
strategy. Ah, you're so smart, Elaine. You're one step ahead. Like you doing your thing. That's amazing, Elaine. My last question for you is, what would your advice be for young people that want to be advocate one day and have large followings like you? What would be your advice to them?
So, my advice would be to young people that never stop learning and never stop
Mm.
questioning. Always question and always do your research. So, when you come back with an answer, if someone said, told you this, okay, cool. Let me go back, let me research it, read up, and then come back and be like, well, I wasn't really too sure on this, but now I am. This is my opinion. This is how I'll put it. And I'm not wavering on that. I feel like for young people as well, like don't ever waver on your opinion, and stick to what you know. Don't feel like you, or don't act like you know everything, because you don't. I don't know everything. And I'm also open to being taught or educated or gaining some sort of experience. I feel like that gives you so much more depth. I feel like sometimes with younger people, sometimes when you're talking to them, they don't have much depth. And that's because some of them just don't read. I feel like if you read, it doesn't even need to be like a deep book, you know what I mean, or politics or anything like that. But if you read about people's experiences or journeys, I feel like it would give you so much more um nuance to have conversations with people. So I'd say that.
That's amazing. I love that advice about because what you said, you look like you've been doing research, you've been reading a lot. So,
Yeah.
in order for you to be successful, knowledge is power. Reading,
Mm.
get advice, and open to learn. I love those advice. And like you said, we're always gonna learn. We don't. There's no one on this earth that knows everything. If there is, I can only say there's a God, but there's no one else than Him. So. Mama said, thank you so, so much, Elaine. I hope
Oh,
that if you have an event, I would love to meet you in person. I feel
oh,
like you're so approachable, so lovely. We don't deserve you because what you do
oh,
for Black people, we don't have a lot of people that do that.
oh,
So thank you for everything that you do. Thank you.
thank you.
Pleasure. Have a lovely evening, okay? Thank you
Honey.
again.